Greetings, comrades. There's three parts to this question from the 2021 NHT paper that I'm going to focus on. We're going to start by working out the cost of the inventory, then we're going to work out the NRV, and then we're going to record an inventory write-down. So just to set this question up, we're using the FIFO method. We are trading cameras. We had an opening balance. We've bought some more on the 12th. We've had another purchase on the 25th. And then we've had a purchase return on the 28th. So the first part to this vid is we're going to work out the cost. We've done a stock take. We've got 20 left, and we've been asked to work out our total cost. Using the FIFO method, we go back to our most recent purchase, which was on the 25th. We've purchased 15, but we've returned 3 of them, as it specifies here. So therefore, we need to work out the cost of these. They were 200 each. Now, in terms of the delivery cost here, we ignore that because it relates to a range of cameras. So therefore, that is a period cost. That's not going to be included in our product cost. So let's deal with some maths here. So 15 minus 3 means we've got 12 units on hand times $200 each, which gives us 2,400 worth of cameras. So then we need to go back to our next most recent purchase on the 12th. We purchased 40. So we're going to need to grab 8 from that batch. And let's just be careful in terms of working out our cost. They're 194 each. We would charge delivery on that of 120 for the 40. Now, given that delivery only relates to that batch of 40 cameras, that's a product cost. So therefore, we need to allocate that cost. We can logically and accurately do it. So 120 divided by 40 cameras means we've got $3 per unit. So in terms of our workings, we've got 194 cost plus that $3 freight per camera equals 8 times 197. If you do that on your calculator, you should get 1576. So the value of our 20 cameras, according to our FIFO application using product costing, is that's going to give us 3976. Now, we read on. We've got a new model. So these cameras that we bought during January are now obsolete. The owners decided to reduce the selling price to $150. So that $150 is our RV. So let's just record that here. But read on. To encourage sales, a waterproof case, which sells for 15 each, we don't worry about the GST, is included. Now that is a selling cost, and that selling cost is going to reduce our profitability on these. So therefore, in order to calculate our NRV, we subtract any selling, marketing or distribution costs. So let's just see what that looks like. So we minus our SC, selling cost, equals 15. So that gives us an NRV, net realisable value, of 135. But we need to multiply that by each of those 20 units. So times 20 units equals 2,700. So in terms of part F, we need to do a write down here because our cost is 3976 and net realisable value is 2,700. So therefore the accrual basis assumption comes into play because we have now anticipated a loss. So therefore we need to reflect that we've incurred an expense. We don't wait till we sell them. The accrual basis says record a loss as soon as it's incurred, and that's that happens once the owner makes the call to actually knock down the sales price, throwing in that selling cost. So subtract the NRV from the cost. If it's lower, that triggers a write down. So therefore, we're going to get a write down of 1276. And so in our GJ, make sure you put in your date of 31st of Jan. We create an expense called inventory write down, which appears between our GP and adjusted GP. And we also need to reflect that our asset inventory has lost value. Oops. So therefore we credit the asset given the value is being reduced. We would also do an out in the inventory card at the unit markdown.